I don't know if I will ever be ready to film this video, but I feel like it's time. This is going to be a hard one for me to film, so just bear with me as I try to get through this. Lincoln was a very happy baby. He was always laughing. He was always making us laugh. Did she get you? He was dancing around all the time. He absolutely loves music. That was one of his favorite things. Even as a little baby, he would get on this little piano mat and he would kick. He pretty much did everything on time. He sat up on time. He was crawling on time. Pretty much everything seemed very typical. He was saying mama and dada. Mama. Mama? Mom. I was a first-time mom, so I never thought that anything was out of the ordinary. One thing I did not notice being a first-time mom was that he wasn't pointing. Now that I have Waylon, I definitely see the differences between the two of them. He definitely wasn't pointing as much as he should have been. He honestly wasn't pointing at anything. Wasn't really like letting us know if he wanted something. If you hear him, by the way, he's doing quiet time. I will probably go ahead and make a whole separate video just of like signs and symptoms that we saw in him, because this video will get very, very long if I tell you guys everything in this video. So that will probably be a whole separate video next week. But anyways, he was a little bit late to walk. I think his first steps he took 1 week after his birthday. Come on, come here. Come see me, come here. Come on, a little bit more. Yeah, yeah. But then he didn't really start walking, like being really confident in it until 13, 14 months. That's not really late. There's definitely a range for walking, but I would say most kids are walking around a year, and he was just a little bit behind that. So we didn't think anything of that. So there were a few things that we had kind of noticed. He wasn't really talking much. He had mama and dada, but he wasn't using them much. He had kind of stopped using them after a year. It was more so when he was a baby and he was just kind of babbling, and he would kind of say like ba ba ba, and that was kind of it. Yeah, even, you know, we're getting into 15, 16 months old, he wasn't saying any words and letting us know if he needed anything. Another thing is he would kind of do this like rocking motion. Ba 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 ba. Really? And he would kind of like bang his head into the high chair. He would spin and walk on his tiptoes. If you don't know, these are all considered stimming, autism stimming. So it's basically how kids with autism calm themselves down. There's another thing that I noticed in an old video when I was looking back at old clips of him, where I thought he was clapping, but he was actually doing like a little hand flap.
It's hard to get on and off the trailer, so I want to make it as simple as possible by getting these bolts on and off. I went and got...
And a lot of the times when he was spinning, I actually thought he was just dancing. So now that I'm looking back, now that we have this realization that he has autism, I'm realizing that these were all stims that he was doing. We were kind of noticing these things, and honestly, I didn't really know exactly what was going on. I was kind of taking note of them, but I didn't really think anything huge of them. Let me get to the appointments. So his 12-month appointment, you know, at the doctor, when you go get their well checks, they'll give you the autism checklist. And you fill it out, and they don't really tell you it's autism. I don't think it even says autism on it. It's just a checklist. It's just like, what's your baby doing? Like, are they doing this stuff? And I remember thinking, I was sitting next to Adam, and I remember thinking, Adam, he's not really doing this stuff. And he would go, oh, I've seen him do that once or twice. So put yes. And I was like thinking, I don't think that really counts if he's doing it once or twice, but I didn't want anything to be wrong with him. So I was like, yeah. So I just like checked off like, yes, he does that, it's fine. And those things were kind of like, does he like bring you things to share the joy in it? You know, like, does he bring you a toy to be like, look mom, like look at this toy I found? Or does he like make really good eye contact with you? And at that point, like when he was a baby, that was more like at the 18-month. At the 12-month, like he was making good eye contact. It kind of started to go after that. At the 12-month, it was like, does he have 5 or 6 words that you can kind of know what he's saying? And I was like, no, you know, he's only got mom and dada at this point. And you know, Waylon at his 12th month, he had like 12, 13, where like he is saying way more than that now. It's just seeing a difference. And the pediatrician did say that he's way ahead. He's got like 18-month language, he said. Anyways, we filled out the checklist like he was doing everything, even if he had only done it like once. And so he passed the autism screening. Then we get to 18 months, and I have brought this up to Adam multiple times. Like, I had been Googling autism symptoms. He kept saying that he didn't think there was anything wrong. He was basically letting me know, you know, maybe I'm looking for it. And so I wanted to believe him. I wanted to think that like, yeah, maybe I am looking for it. So I was like, all right, maybe you're right. And at this point, there was a lot more going on. We had been, you know, hanging out with the cousins. Lincoln has lots of cousins. At this point, he's got like 10 or 11 cousins. And so when we would go to the grandparents' house and he would be around the cousins, he was always going off on his own, and he didn't really want to play with the cousins. He was always flipping light switches at their house, unplugging outlets. That's another repetitive thing, is if you're like flipping light switches on and off, opening and closing doors constantly. Just like those repetitive behaviors. Every time we were on stairs, he would go up and down, up and down, up and down the stairs. Rocking, he was always rocking in the rocking chair. So we're noticing more and more things. He just seemed overstimulated all the time. His tantrums weren't normal tantrums. They were like full on autism meltdowns. And so it was just getting to be very obvious to me, and Adam still didn't see it. And keep in mind, at this point, I am 9 months pregnant with Waylon, so I had other things on my mind as well. So Waylon's born, and we are going through the newborn stage. Then COVID hits, and going to the doctor becomes even harder. You know, your appointments, you can't even bring your spouse with you. At our doctor, at least, it had to just be you and the child. You can't bring another child, you can't bring your spouse. So then I didn't even want to think about doing an autism appointment because I wanted Adam to get to be there. And you're wearing masks, and I had a newborn. And so we just kind of, I mean, at least I kind of stopped thinking about it. And a while goes by, and more things keep popping up. He's walking on his tiptoes a lot more. Our brother and sister-in-law come over, and we're outside playing. He immediately goes inside and wants to be by himself. He's just sitting inside by himself, and we're all outside having dinner. He is in the baby's car seat, rocking himself in the car seat. I go inside, and I'm checking on him. I'm just sitting there with him, and I'm just sitting there so sad. I just felt like I knew something was going on. I knew we needed to take him to the doctor and figure out what's going on, because he was just so happy in there by himself, just rocking. He gets overstimulated from all of the commotion and all of the kids being there, and it's too much for him, and he calms himself down by being by himself, and that rocking motion is his relief. I knew right then, like, he has autism. We need to take him in to get evaluated. After that, I had more conversations with Adam. He finally started to realize the more I talked to him that we should at least get him checked out. As Waylon got older, he started to see the difference between Waylon at Lincoln's age, like when Lincoln was 9 months old, 10 months old. Lincoln wasn't doing any of the stuff that Waylon was doing. And I think he really was like, yeah, there's something going on. So I took Lincoln in very early January, and it's now March, and the doctor was like, he failed his autism screening. Like, he scored very high for autism. The pediatrician can't diagnose, so we have an appointment with a doctor who can diagnose. So he doesn't have his official diagnosis yet. We already have him in early steps, which is the like state-run program, which can get him speech therapy, which we're starting like literally in 2 weeks. Just had his evaluation yesterday, and he again took another autism screening, scored again extremely high. I have no doubt in my mind that he has autism, even though we don't have the official diagnosis yet. It just takes a while to get to that point. So he will be getting speech therapy, and I'm hoping once we get the diagnosis he can get some ABA therapy, because we are really struggling when we are out in public. He gets overstimulated by all the noise and all the commotion of people, and he literally runs away from us. It is extremely hard because he doesn't hear us. That's another thing. He doesn't respond to his name. Like, I know he doesn't have a hearing problem, but that's another huge sign that I totally forgot to say in this video, is that he doesn't respond to his name. You can say Lincoln, Lincoln, Lincoln. You can say it 10 different times, 20. He doesn't even look up. When he's running off in public, which if you've ever been around us when we're out, you know what I'm talking about. He will literally dart off, and you have to start running and chase him and literally catch him. So that's something an ABA therapist can help us with, because they will literally come out with us to the grocery store or to the park, and if he starts running away, then they can say, okay, he's running away because of this. This is what you can do to help. So I'm really hoping to get that type of therapy. I think it'll be really beneficial for all of us. Okay, so it is the next day. Kids are playing in the play kitchen right now, and I just had a minute and I wanted to end this video differently. The way I ended it yesterday, I just like got choked up. I was talking about how amazing Lincoln is and all of that, and I just like didn't want to end it all emotional like that. So basically all I want to say is, if you are my friends and family, thank you for wanting to stay updated on Lincoln, and I will definitely try to keep posting once a week. Lincoln actually has his neurology appointment in a few weeks, and I will definitely keep you guys updated on what happens with that and the official diagnosis and everything with that. And then if you say hey dude. And if you did find my video in search and you were looking for videos like this, like I always was when we were trying to figure out what was going on with Lincoln, then let me know, leave me a comment. I only know one other mom who has a child with autism, so I would love to meet some other moms going through the same thing. And the last thing is, like, I just want to let anyone know who is like going through this and like doesn't have any idea what's going on, and you're kind of like scared, because everyone I think is kind of like scared and nervous and like doesn't really know what to think when they first find out. I just want to say, like, a diagnosis is a good thing. It helps you find out more about your kid. It helps you help your kid, and it helps you get the therapy that they need. It helps you be more patient with them. I know it can be scary at first because you don't know what they're gonna be like as a 5 or 10-year-old, or like you don't know how they're gonna function as an adult, and like that's kind of the scariest part. But God knows what they're gonna function like. God has their whole life planned out, and so that's what you can put your trust in, that God has that planned out, and He knows. I will try to keep you guys updated. I will try to post once a week. Make sure that you do subscribe if you do want to see more videos. I will be posting all of my regular content with like Lincoln updates scattered in there as well. Next week is going to be all the signs and symptoms that we saw. I did not touch on everything in this video. There's a lot more and I will go much more into detail in that video. So make sure that you look out for that next week. And thank you guys again so much for watching. I will see you in the next one. Bye guys.
Wow. 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Kiss. Oh, you are so sweet, buddy. Lincoln, say trick treat. Is it good, June? Do you like it? Are you on the phone? Who are you talking to?